even use the S word.
Yeah, but it would be nice over there for sure. Anyway, turning this mic over to you, Zulma Gonzalez. This mic is all yours, my friend.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. A thankful Thursday to each and every only one of us. There's only one. Only one, only one. And we I keep forgetting that. Oh, lately I have been forgetting that. Um and there's my Karen. My Karen's here. Hi, my Karen. How you doing?
Hi,
Um,
my Zulma, with the Z and the Z, the double Z Zulma.
right? Z at the beginning, Z at the end. Zulma Gonzalez. I'm Z's all over the place. Um, which doesn't mean that I'm asleep necessarily. Every now and then I wake up. Every now and then I have a moment of waking up. Um, um, okay. So as you can hear, I'm a little stuffy. I have 11 o'clock doctor's appointment, so I'll be leaving here about 20 after 10, Lynn, just so you know, a little bit early, just a little bit early, so I can get myself ready to go out of here 20 after 20. Um, 'Cause I have to make sure that my driveway is clear. I have not been out since Sunday. Um, didn't go to work, any of that. I couldn't talk without coughing. Why, thank you. Well, thank you very much, Karen. Appreciate that. All I did was pin curls. I twisted, pin curl. Uh, and it's an experiment because it won't last. But anyway, thank you. Um, but yeah, so anyway, as always, it is a wonderful day. I was saying that I was to a point where I couldn't talk without a cough. I couldn't anything without a cough. I couldn't sleep without a cough. So, uh, I'm much better than I was. Every now and then, I'm going to go off screen so I can blow my nose and turn off my audio so I can make sure I can get through this um, respectfully, respectfully to myself. All right, let's see what we have to share today. Um, Karen, you're funny. Karen, you are so funny. Um, so as always, let's see. This should be on slideshow. Um, we're talking about A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind and other metaphysical teachings. But today I'm going to talk to, well, yeah, that too. But I got something else on my mind, and I need to, I need to express because I'm having feelings. Oh, how feelings can suck sometimes. Oh, that means that I'm thinking. I'm not thinking with God. It means I'm not thinking in a forward motion. It means I'm not thinking um in joining. I heard Zelf talk about the whole thing about basically joining or judging. Is really what comes down. Either I'm joining or I'm judging. Either I'm with you or I think I'm against you. Either I'm with you or I think I'm separate. But anyway, let's go. Let's mind your mind. I saw Sharon had that in her on her name screen. Mind your mind. That's it. Pay attention. We should daily train our thought to recognize the spirit in everything we do, say, or think. There is no other way, and to try any other way would be to make a complete failure. We should daily, I should daily train my thought to recognize the spirit in everything I do, say, or think, which then would go into what I see. And there is no other way. We're reminded that this is a course in mind training. The Course in Miracles reminds us this is a course in mind training, and that all learning involves attention and study at some level, which has something to do with what I need to talk about today. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. Oh, we can go on and on and on and talk trash all day long. I can read all day long. I can come here and I can, you know, teach. I put the quotation marks. I'm not teaching. I'm learning. I'm just saying stuff that I have to listen to. But then I can turn right around and go off here and and go decide that that one is less than me or more than me, or that thing isn't good enough, or that thing isn't good, or that I'm not good enough. I can do all that. I can go out here and I can sit here and distinguish myself from others by saying that they're not this and I'm not that, and how could this be happening and that be happening, which is kind of what's going on with me right about now. So I figure I bring that up. Dr. Ernest Holmes reminds us that to learn how to think is to learn how to live. And sometimes we forget. We simply forget. And that simply forget means that we're choosing not to remember. I'm speaking first person, that I am choosing not to remember. And I'm thinking in first person today because I am bothered. I am bothered. Meanwhile, Christian Larson says that we naturally become master over all life when we understand and master the process of thinking. I'm going to um, continue. If you're seeing the screen, that means you're not seeing me, which is good. These are just picking up some passages out of the course that had my attention over the last week. Just random stuff. Nothing beyond yourself can make you fearful or loving because nothing is beyond you. Time and eternity are both in your mind and will conflict until you perceive time solely as a means to regain eternity. You cannot do this as long as you believe that anything happening to you is caused by factors outside yourself. I can't live a life of peace until and unless as as long as I believe that anything that's happening to me is caused by factors outside myself. In fact, there is nothing happening to me. Everything is happening for me, as me, through me. It's happening as me. I am the place where God shows up. And when I'm forgetting that, I think that something is happening to me. I am going to mute myself for a moment. Okay. Yeah, so the course continues to do not perceive anything God did not create, or you are denying him. If anything I'm making up, all that stuff that I make up, I'm making it up. God didn't create it. God didn't do it. It's just me. And this particular passage from the course, um, I like it, and I like it a lot. Can you exclude yourself from the universe or from God, who is the universe? Can you exclude yourself from the universe or from God, who is the universe? Now, I know that I'm preaching to the choir when I'm saying this. I know that, that I'm talking about belief in separation, but are there not moments, often, when we choose separation? I heard, I don't know who was being talked about, but just before I came on, I heard something about um, not wanting not wanting to see someone or hear someone, and until you get to a point where it's like, wait, I'm causing a rift here. I am separating myself from that individual. I am putting myself in a position to not want to be around someone, thinking that they're not this or that they're not that because I am this or I am that, or the other way around. But that's exclusion. It's exclusion, and it's not beneficial. It's not beneficial at all. At all. Um, I have a quote from I have a quote from I didn't do that right. From Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. I'm kind of wandering all over the place today, and it's okay. Bear with me. I'm going to blame it on not feeling myself. I know we're not talking about thinking or wondering or wishing or believing even. I know that the changeless abides with me. And I have to remember that not only does it abide with me, but it abides with everyone, everywhere, everything, always. I am calm and peaceful in the midst of confusion. I know that nothing moves the soul. Peace, infinite peace, is at the center of my being. I live, move, and have my being in that which is perfect, complete within itself. And that self is myself. And that's a beautiful uh, passage from the 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. I suspect this is more Raymond Charles Barker because he seems to speak a little more clearly. You know how the Course has that language? Well, Ernest Holmes has a language too, and Raymond Charles Barker has less language, if you will. And I'm bringing this up about being calm and peaceful because I have been having to recite this. I have been having to recite this. So here's the story. The story. I went to a study group, ACIM study group, on Tuesday. I was invited to a thread on WhatsApp of ACIMers from a different part of the country. I'll just leave it at that. A warm part of the country where I wouldn't mind going if I could, but just to be in that warm place because unlike you, Lynn, I don't do the S word. I don't care for it. I was born in August. I was born in a hot, in a warm day, and I like it like that. Not necessarily hot, but I like it warm. Anyway, so I was invited to this group, and I belong to this group, um, and I read some of what they post because and what I find is that there's always it's like okay in the section um oh the section about idols. Okay, now I can't think of the title of that section. Doesn't matter. It's in chapter 29. But that section about idols, it talks about more and more and more, just wanting more and always looking for more and always looking for something outside, always something else, always something outside. The Antichrist, that's the title of the section. The Antichrist. But the section before that is seek not outside yourself. And there's always, that person, what they said, oh, they said it better. Oh, and what that person wrote, oh, that person wrote it better. Oh, this book, oh, that book is that's the best one. And I'm finding, and granted, been there. I can't tell you about my library. Um, the books that I haven't even read. Just haven't, just like the title, or somebody's talked about how great it was, so I went and bought that book, and get all excited about these things. But I'm saying all this to say that there comes a point where looking outside just isn't it. We keep waiting for the next great author, the next great speaker, the next great teacher, the next great video, the next great this, the next that, the next the other. And Ralph Waldo Emerson said something about that we fail to look at that spark from within. We seem to forget that I and the Father are one. You and the Father are one. We seem to forget that we and the Father are one. Not just that person over there, not just that, that scribe or that that speaker or that whomever. We keep looking outside. We keep looking for more and more and more. Anyway, I went to a study group months ago, last year sometime. And it's part of it's the same people, and they have different groups on different days. And I decided to go to one on in the middle of the week. find out what they have. And hi, McKelly. How are you? Good to see you. Up too late. I saw you. um, and so so going to that study group. This led me back here, of course. This is home for me. This is absolutely home. And my Karen knows that we have been involved with um at least one other study group where the people see, I'm sounding separate. I hear it, but and at the moment I'm going to be guilty of the same thing I'm about to say. Walking the walk, but not talking. Rather, talking the talk, but not walking the walk. Now, me saying that is making is me criticizing or judging. I get that. I get that. I get that. That's what it is. I'm criticizing and I'm judging because I can't. I'm the type of person. This individualized expression of God is a type that can't handle a facilitator yelling at me. Just thinking that that's the way that they're supposed to communicate. I can't handle that. That's not me. That doesn't. It just doesn't fit. You cannot call yourself to me a teacher of God, and you think that it's in your best interest to yell at me when you talk to me. Um, I, I, so this particular study group that I had gone to in the middle of the week one day, um, everyone in the group sounded like they were new to the course. I'll say it like that. And then it was months later when I was invited to this thread and discovered that these people have been around for for a very long time, a very long time. So on Tuesday, I really wish I'd have been with you all instead at 7 o'clock. I bet you I'll do that next time. Bet you. If I got Tuesdays are free, I'm going to do that. I'll be right where you are, um, with my family. Because these are like, long distance. I have to call them long distance cousins. I went to a study group on Tuesday, and someone asked a question from the course, and the facilitator clearly didn't know the answer and responded as if he did. Fortunately, there was someone else there who is more learned. I'll say it that way. Or I don't know. I don't know what words. See, I sound judgmental. I hear it. I hear what I'm doing. I hear it. And I don't want to do this compare thing. I don't. I don't. That's not my point. It's not my point. My point is Zulma can't has no desire to live out of integrity. Zulma has no desire to live out of integrity. You know, stuff happens. When I'm in pain, you see my tears. You hear my tears when I'm in joy. You hear my tears. uh, some things I deal with more to myself because I know that if I keep feeding the story, the story just continues to grow. Um, I was sitting in a group of people who spent all their time one in particular about how different she was, and as it applies to her, and how and it was, and you want to talk about the word victim was written all over her. Not just so happened the same person was in that other study group that I had gone to months ago. Um, and as it applies to her, and it's so, it's what I discovered, all that was to say, my tolerance, my tolerance is not what I thought it was. My tolerance is not what I thought it was. I'm not feeling the compassion. I'm not. I'm feeling, as far as that facilitator, why are you even, this is, I swear, I have to, why are you, how are you a facilitator? How are you calling yourself a teacher? A facilitator. Maybe, yeah, let's go facilitator. I tend to prefer that word, because even again, to teach is to learn, and I get that. I can clearly, there isn't a single thing that I have said so far that somebody can't find me a passage somewhere in or out of the course that's going to say, Zulma, Zulma, that can happen. But there's that section of the course called the correction of error, and this is where I am. This is what's giving me the headache. There's a section of the course called the correction of error, and it talks about how even if uh they sound the course like say they sound insane, they're still right. And I get that, because I understand spirit is spirit. I understand that beyond the body, it's still spirit. I get that. I do. I get that. And Karen just wrote in the chat that everyone is playing their part perfectly. And if the purpose of me going to that study group on Tuesday, was not to go there again, and to realize that issue with my own tolerance, because this is for me, if that's what this was about, then lesson learned. Because I have like tossed and turned about this. It's really, really, it would be like, I see your hand, Karen. Give me a minute. It would be like if Lynn or Dove, or any of you, got up here and started saying something like, "Oh no, I can't. I can't even make stuff up. I can't make it up. I can't make it up." I was so annoyed. I let myself get so annoyed with this facilitator who, this is what Zulma thought, was clueless. How, dear God. And the thing is, it's the person in charge tends to be the person that people listen to, and you think that, and I say in charge in quotation marks, and you think that they know what they're talking about. You think that but clearly, again, I'm grateful for this other gentleman, and that same gentleman, by the way, was in that group that I had gone to months ago, who has to keeps jumping in to, it's like autocorrect. And it makes me think of some of the conversations I've heard about, how they've talked about some authors, and how some people get it and some people don't, and some people say this and some people say that, and this, that, and the other. And I was disconnected from those conversations, because, it's like, okay, this is who I choose. These are the authors that I prefer. These are the speakers that I prefer. And everybody does that. Everybody has their own. But in this case, there's only one person of all the people that I've seen in this group, all of them, that I would want to talk to. And that's that one who has to keep goes from group to group saying, well, no, what the course actually says, and he keeps referencing the course. And I because that's my learning. I'm learning. It's not, what the people say. It's what the people are saying from the course. That's, the course and other metaphysical teachings. It's principle. We stand on principle. We stand on principle. We stand on principle. Principle before personalities, it says in the 12th tradition of the 12-step program. Principle before personalities. The truth and only the truth. Not making stuff up and trying to make myself sound so grandiose. Go ahead, Karen. I'm babbling. Go ahead.
You are not babbling. And thank you so much, my darling Zulma. I love you so much. First of all, I want to say that. Second of all, thank you for sharing this. And I think it's so beautiful that you're sharing exactly where you're at. And it's perfect. It is okay. You know, so I love what you said that my tolerance is not what I thought it was. You are in tune with yourself. You're in tune with it. And that is commendable because some people wouldn't even notice that. They would just judge. And you really didn't judge. You were just saying where you're at. You're just speaking of where you're at. You're not judging, and you really tried very carefully to choose your words so you wouldn't judge. You don't want to judge. Because what came to me too, I was thinking of the correction of error. We're on the same page, but I was thinking of the very first paragraph, very first sentence where he says, the alertness of the ego to the errors of other egos is not the kind of vigilance the Holy Spirit would have you maintain. And you do not want to maintain that. And you did not maintain that. You're just being honest with yourself. And to me, it's like, so I question, okay, so my tolerance isn't what I thought it was. Okay, let me look at that. That's something for me to look at, and that's beautiful. It's something see, the ego doesn't want us to look, but you're looking at it, you're noticing it, you're seeing it, and now you can heal it. It's coming up for the healing. So I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I think you answered your own question, because you said, I think my learning here was not to go back to that group. I can do better things and other things on Tuesdays. Be with us on Tuesdays. We've got great groups on Tuesdays. We would love you to be there. And I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's what happened. And I'm listening to, like, and I said, it's like I'd rather have a V8, or I could have, had a V8. That's exactly how I felt during this group. I'm like, oh my God, I could be with my family. And that's the only thing. It's funny. I didn't think I could be with Gather. I always think and it's interesting as I'm saying that because this is family. And to me, they, to me, they're others. McKaylee, go ahead, love.
Oh, thank you, Zulma. Thank you, Karen. Karen, you actually took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to tell you, Zulma, that it's so beautiful. You were actually looking. That's what I got when you were talking. You were looking. And, I love your honesty. And that's actually one of the qualities of the teachers of God. You're so honest and you're so humble, and you were looking. So, Ken says, just laugh at it, oh, there goes the ego again. Just laugh at it, but you were looking, so you were stepping outside of it. So beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, family. Thank you. Thank you. Because I was holding my head. I mean, I got up, I came out of that study group, and I sat with myself, and I'm like, oh, oh, oh. I was, kind of walking inside. I was still hacking and I wasn't feeling physically well anyway, right? And I'm hacking, I'm coughing, and I'm listening, and I'm oh, no, 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 I can't, no, no, no. And I had a moment, I have to admit, I had a moment, with the exception of that gentleman who I told you, and Karen, we've had this conversation, and it sounds arrogant, and I apologize in advance. There's a saying that goes, if you're the smartest person in the group, you need a new group. It sounds arrogant, but no, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. I know that everything that all things are lessons that God would have you learn. I know that everything is a lesson. I'm always looking, what's the lesson? What's the lesson? What's the lesson? Which is why, despite the slides and stuff that I had today, this is what I needed to talk about, because it is about my lesson. I know that all things are lessons God would have me learn. So as I was, and what I learned is that group is not for me. I learned that this is where I need to be more often. And interestingly enough, I usually don't even do too much stuff in the evening. I'm in either in my own books. I'm in my own books. I'm studying. I'm me. Uh, for my own growth. Um, I forget about. I didn't even know there was. Thank you for the Monday night. Um, teaching from. Thank you for Monday night, Lynn, because I didn't even realize it was. I need to look at the schedule. Obviously, I need to look at the schedule. Um, every other Monday, I am free. Um, I know about the Tuesdays, and I thought, why am I doing this? What is going on here? What is going on here? Why aren't you with the family? So anyway, that's I needed to get that out because a part of me feels like it's not fair. It's not fair. Nope. Let me back out of that. Let me back out of that one. There's a book when I was in the um working for the school board. There's a book titled "Those Who Can Teach." Those who can, comma, teach. Uh, we all know stuff. We all know stuff. We all have to know stuff because we're spirit. So we know. We don't know what we know, but we all know stuff at our core. At the essence, we already know. Some people hmm, have a clearer way of expressing that. I'll say it like that. Some people have a clearer way of expressing what they think, what they learn, what they believe, what they know. Some people are clearer at expressing it. What messes with me is the person who just throws an answer out there that just doesn't make a bit of sense. Just throws an answer out there. See, since I'm the facilitator, I'll just say what I want, and you're just gonna go. It's like when I was in Catholic school. This is what you were told, and that was that. You don't read to find out. Even in the Bible, it does say study to show yourself approved, but I wasn't taught to study to show myself approved because it was, in the school that didn't teach the Bible. So you're just supposed to, because I say it, or because my voice has power, or because, Zulma's been here for X amount of years. That doesn't mean a hill of beans. It doesn't mean a hill of beans. And it, for the people who are there, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking. I'm rambling again. Go ahead, Karen.
So I just want to share what Ken Wapnick teaches that helps me a lot. Okay, so Ken Wapnick, I'm sure most people here have heard this, or maybe everyone has, but Ken says that we all have the same right mind, wrong mind, and decision maker. So we all have the same ego. So this is what really helps me because I had a situation, and Zulma, you're very familiar with it, with a person who treated me very viciously and very, very vicious. And I really had a really hard time with it. And I wasn't really sure how to handle it. And also I had to look at, I was seeing viciousness. I was seeing viciousness. So there must still be something unhealed in me if I'm seeing viciousness. So I talked to someone in the course about it that I very much trust and has always given me great advice. And this person said, Karen, he has the same ego as you. Okay. He said, he's not doing anything that we don't all do. He said, we all do it, and the truth that, that we all make wrong mind decisions. And what also really helps me is that there is really no order of difficulty and there is no hierarchy of illusion. So if I'm making these differences real and seeing his ego as worse than mine, then that's something that I need to look at. And don't think I don't do it, because I do. But that's the looking, that's the forgiveness, that's the opportunity, and that's why it's coming up, because it took me a long time to come to forgiveness with this person. It really did. But I did. I finally got there. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. It takes what it takes. But I learned from that experience. It taught me to recognize that every illusion is the same and that we all have the same ego. So it really takes the load off of that judgment. Thanks.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Um, yeah. Thank you, my friend. Um, all right, all right. I'm ready. I feel better. My head doesn't hurt anymore. I mean, I was literally just, going back and forth. I remember literally, I was sitting here doing this, and I said, I have to talk about it. Oh, just sitting here, just woke me up out of sleep. I have to talk about it with the people with my family, where I know that somebody can talk to me less harshly than I talk to myself. Less harshly than I talk to myself. Hell, get me off the ladder here. Get me off the ladder. Get me off the ladder. All right, I'm gonna um talk a little bit. Well, no, let me find another slide to share, and then I'll go someplace else. This is again from Raymond Charles Barker. He says, point of control is always within, and the wise person starts to assume dominion over his disorganized thinking, which is what we're talking about. This is easier to accomplish when we realize that spirit within us is urging us in this direction. God wants us to control ourselves and not other people. We are spiritually equipped to do this. And I'm laughing as I'm reading that because I wanted to scream, "What are you doing? What are you saying? How can you say that?" I didn't, but I thought, "Oh my God, how can you call yourself?" Oh, I did it in my head, which is probably why I ended up with a headache. Probably why I'm still stuffy up here. I'm just still full of it, literally full of it. All right, and the last quote that I have here is, by the power of God in the midst of me, I now take dominion over my own thinking. I know that peace in my mind means peace in my world. I recognize that within myself this day, the mind of God is in full control of my every activity. I am poised and centered in God's eternal peace. I meet every situation as it arises with confidence, for I have faith that the right idea will emerge out of God's mind for me to use at every instant. I refuse to let fear control me, and I joyously let God have dominion in my affairs. I accept each idea as it comes to me, knowing that God's ideas answer every question, answer every question. I had to back that up so I can see it. Answer every question and solve every problem. I am in control. Stop share. I am in control. This is from, I didn't write that. I would love to say it was my original, but it's not. This is from, again, Raymond Charles Barker and Ernest Holmes, 365 Days of Richer Living. it's one of those, I love it. I can, it's one of those things that I read daily. I do my lesson from the course, and I read Raymond Charles Barker. I like his work. I just like his work. And it says Ernest Holmes too, but I think it's Raymond Charles. Whatever. Anyway, another one of the wonderful metaphysicians that has helped me, that helps me to stay off the roof, help me, keep me from, get off the chandelier. Remembering that these are courses in mind training. These are courses in mind training. Yes, Mickey.
So that speaks to what you were talking about before also so much. And we all have opinions about other people who teach the course. There are dozens of people. And I don't know if you've seen him yet. Karen and I have been watching this guy, Luigi, not Muji, Luigi. And he has opinions about other course teachers. He calls people out constantly and calls them charlatans and, says they're idiots. And he has absolutely, he holds nothing back about his opinions. And I think that's a good lesson for all. We're all going to have opinions about what people say about different teachings, about everything, politics, food, what people are wearing. Look at all the fashion, critics there are in the world, and the movie critics. And it's just our nature to have it. It is the individual's penchant to have opinions about everything. And I think the most important part in all of that is not to judge ourselves for having an opinion. Karen sent something out the other day that said, I love this, and I've been quoting it to everybody that I can talk to. The operational definition for being in one's right mind is to look at the wrong mind without judgment. That's from Ken Wapnick. And so what if this personality has an opinion about another personality? Yeah, we know it's all a bunch of hooey, but the last thing that any of us should do is say, I shouldn't be, it should all over ourselves, and say, I shouldn't be doing that. It's, you're great. You're wonderful. You're lovely. You are perfect. And you don't like what that person was saying? Screw it. Like you said, come hang with us. Come hang with the people who love you. It's, yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For me, I came up with this: if you don't edify, you crucify. So Zulma, speaking for Zulma, have to, in guarding my thoughts, I'm asking myself, would I say that to that person? Would I say that to that person? Would I say what I'm thinking to that person? And if the answer is no, I really have to look at it. And I'm just speaking for myself. I'm just speaking for myself. That's just speaking for myself. And that's the life I choose, because I was young, really young, really young, late teens, and I got myself caught up in a gossip thing, and got myself beat up for it. Can't be that person. All right, go ahead, Lynn.
All right, there we go. So yeah, wow, this is great, Selma. And what I'm seeing is because I do this all the time myself. I'm constantly looking at myself, looking at my thoughts, looking at my judgments, and pulling back, pulling back, pulling back. Um, wanting to go into a big story and having to catch myself and pull back and so I've loved listening to your process, which is just so perfect because when you go to anything, a different group of people, whatever, you really have to ask, what is the purpose of me being here? What am I here? What's the lesson I'm here to learn? And it could be that I'm here, coincidentally for someone else who's in the group. Maybe other people maybe need to hear something I have to say, or I need to hear something they have to say, whatever, but you have to ask yourself, why am I here? And if it doesn't serve you, if it is not making you wholly joyous, that you do have a couple of choices. And, one choice obviously is to just, I'm going to go someplace where I am happy. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's a perfectly good thing as well, because you can't make a wrong choice here. But what happens then is, you have to ask yourself, did I learn what I went there to learn? Because if I didn't, I'm just wasting my time.
Yes.
So, and I'm going to find the same thing the next group I go to. Now, I've found this happening, a couple times. One time when there came a group that we wanted to join up with on Sunday evenings, and they were breaking up and they weren't going to have their meeting, or we decided to take it on or something. I don't even know because I wasn't even there. I don't even know what happened, but
Mm.
we invited those people, we joined up with those people, and guess what? They didn't like us. They did not like us. It wasn't like, I'm sure that they liked us, in general, but they didn't like how we operated, or there was things about us that didn't make them happy. And so they said, nope, we're not going to join your group now. And then we ended up having a group on Sunday that really was only there for them. And we disbanded that because, that it just was a little much. But but the question I had to ask was, what was the purpose of joining up with these people if they're just going to reject us? And
Yeah.
then I realized, well, that's that's the purpose, is to see that whatever it is we're here for, they were happy with each other and they loved each other and they didn't know us. And we were like strangers coming into their house and trashing their kitchen. It was like, they didn't run things the way we do. They didn't operate the way we do. They had a guy who was kind of the leader, and he was the one who, did most of the teaching. And, they didn't like it when somebody else came in with their ideas. So, that was a big shock to me, like, oh my God, everybody doesn't love me? How can that be? You'd have to, people would kill to get into a group like this where, we all, let each other have our say and listen to each other with just equal respect and all. What is going on? But then I had to look at myself again, look at myself and recognize that, I was doing the same thing. I was in total judgment of, this is the way you are, this is what you're thinking, you were all wrong. I mean, it is equally edifying. So you just know that, however it turns out, I mean, you did the perfect thing. You went through, you can't do it wrong here. But if you don't look at it and ask those questions as you are doing so beautifully, you're going to have it, it's going to happen somewhere else. Next place you go, same thing's going to happen. You're going to get kicked out of, or kick yourself out, or whatever, over and over until you get to the place where you're saying, "Oh, I get it now," which you're already doing that. So that's just a generalization. Anyway, thank you, Zoma. I love you, my dear, and with the
You
Z,
do.
I
You
got
know
your
what it is.
that
You
Z.
all you all messed it up for everybody. you all are the epitome. You all are the epitome of love and family to me. Messed it up for everybody. Anybody else? No, sorry. No, I got. Well, yeah, yeah. I get that. I get that. Um, I get that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I was just so surprised. And just like you were surprised, Lynn, I was surprised. I was surprised that someone else, and I ended up, having to, that someone else had to interrupt, literally interrupt the facilitator because they knew not what they were talking about at all. And it was like, oh, oh, and had that individual not been there, and then I said something, and I wasn't expecting, oh, that was so well said. I'm like, what? It, it didn't. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Listen, it's 10:22. I have to be where I have to be at 11 o'clock. I have to go make sure my driveway and stuff is clear, check my tires and stuff. And if it's okay with you, Lynn, take over, or Karen. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Um, Karen, if you're ready to take over, however you guys want to do. But I'm out. It's I'm out.
All right.
I'm out.
Thank you so
I
much.
love you.
Yeah, you don't have to arrange things for us. Just
That's why I stopped talking. That's exactly why I
I
stopped. I'm
know
like,
you knew
okay,
that.
it's not my show anymore. Nope, nope.
All right. Have fun at the doctor.
Oh yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Love you
Uh,
guys.
just know that you're blessed and everyone around you is blessed and the doctor is blessed and the nurses are blessed and they're all there for your blessing. So
My
be
blessing. Yeah, and I'm gonna remind them of that too. Thanks a lot. I'm gonna switch over to the phone so I can listen.